Good evening and welcome to another episode of Lean Living. Today I'd like to discuss Hugelkultur. Yes, that's Hugelkultur. That is an Austrian word and it's a method of planting and farming which involves earth piled onto a large woody core. Okay, so the guy who coined the term is called Seb Holter. He's an Austrian who basically found and borrowed from nature possibly the concept of having earth piled on top of wood and the benefits which it therefore passes on to the plants on top of it or buried into the actual mound. How this works is, as the woody core breaks down, it has one of many effects. It becomes a spongy matter which helps to draw the water either around it or from beneath and allows the plants to access this hydration. It also allows the plants to access nutrients which they wouldn't otherwise be able to tap into with a small root base. There's also another aspect of this, which is as the woody core breaks down, there is a fungal network which works with a symbiosis with the existing root system. It's all interconnected, and with this extra reach which the fungal network gives the plants, it allows it to stretch out a little further, accessing areas which it would not normally be able to reach. This is why it's important in your gardens not to use any antifungal sprays, because it upsets the entire balance of the plant's ability to access stuff which it would not normally be able to get hold of. Now, how it can be modified for a somewhat suburban setting is by using the concept without the having the 6 mound foot like structures which Seb Holtz actually used himself. What you could actually do in a more urban setting to make it more aesthetically pleasing and to not have like giant mountains all around your garden is to actually kind of put this into a tank garden concept. In Australia we use quite a few of these things. We call them kind of container beds or tank beds, where we have like great big steel kind of containers. We fill it with earth and plant into that, because especially here in Western Australia and Perth, we basically are in a great big fucking sandpit. Okay, so there's nothing really in terms of organic nutrients in the actual plant soil. It's mainly all silica. So the way you'd actually do it in these beds would be to have a solid wooden core and then put layers of earth and fertilizer. Now the good and the bad thing about wood is that it has this potential to absorb nitrogen, which can be a problem if you're not compensating for it. Now, when it comes to fertilization of soil, it works on the basis of if you ever look at one of your fertilizers, your liquid fertilizers off the shelf, you have an NPK rating on it. It's nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Nitrogen is present in manures like, well, all manures, but very high in some manures like chicken manure. Now, a safe one to actually put in your garden beds would be sheep manure, because it's like middle of the range and it won't affect the plants. If you were to stick chicken manure straight in your garden beds, it can have a tendency to burn the plants. Now, because it's got a very high nitrogen level. But with the woody core, you'll take advantage of this ability and this kind of thing to actually kind of soak up nitrogen by placing a lot of fertilizer on there, and as it soaks it up, it doesn't soak it up forever. So eventually, when it does break down, it's like a slow release tablet which will actually release it and feed the plants as time goes on. So essentially, if you kind of keep that in mind and build your container bed with that idea in your head, So putting lots of high nitrogen manures around the actual wood, you're actually kind of storing up all this nutrients for later release for the plants. Two places which I'd advise you to visit on the internet it's a fairly simple concept, but to read a little bit more about it is a guy called Paul Wheaton, he's in the States. He runs two websites, one called richsoil.com and permies.com. There's lots of forums on the Permies one. I'm not so sure about the Rich Soil one because I haven't actually visited that one, but lots of things to look at. Like I said, I was very brief about this. It's a system you may find useful depending where you actually live, but keep it in mind because it does give you that little extra nugget of information, and hopefully I've piqued your interest somewhat. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, and I hope this has been of some use to you. I shall speak to you later.